Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima. Over the course of 2026, I'm playing the game Persona 3 Reload. Only I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to match the pace of the game. That's right, I'm playing this game one real day at a time. Please enjoy this different take on the game in a series I'm calling Persona a Day. Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and today is Tuesday, May 26th. So as I like to do, I start out by talking about what we did yesterday. This makes sure we're all caught up with today's information and we're just fully informed for whatever choices we get to make today. After that, we will get into today's gameplay and see where that takes us. And then from there, we'll come back here to the desk and talk a bit more about the day and see what sort of broader connections we can make. And since this is a full playthrough of the game, we will be encountering spoilers as we go, so please be aware of that. Okay, so let's start off then by looking back at yesterday, Monday, May 25th. The week got back into a more normal routine and the day started in school, as many of our days do. The main point for the day of school that was on everyone's mind was Monday was the day that midterm exam results would be posted. You'll probably remember the entirety of last week was consumed by taking our midterm exams, and the exam results were due to be posted yesterday. So there was talk about that, anxiety among the students, and that wondering of just how we did. We've been thinking about it, all throughout the tests, and ever since we turned our last test in. But yesterday was the day that the final results would be confirmed, good or bad, we would know for sure. And so I'm sure, that weighed on everyone's mind. And by midday, they actually did have those results posted. One of the students said, hey, they've got them up, let's go take a look. So, as we all did, we all scurried to the board to see where we placed, how we did, good or bad. And I was quite thrilled. I was almost shocked that we managed to score in the top 10 in our grade. A massive accomplishment. And extremely rewarding because we did try to take it seriously. There were a lot of study sessions and review, and I really tried to make that an important part of our time the entire month coming up into exams. So to see that focus really pay off and attain us a really good score, it was an extra meaningful showing that my time was well spent. Even nicer than that, well, a nice bonus on top of that anyway, was I gained some charm from my classmates by doing well on those exams. People seemed to look at me with some level of awe or respect, and that boosted my charm. So that was a nice little bonus. So we finished up lunch. I'm sure everybody was then excited or lamenting or just still with exams on their mind, but with actual results to talk about now. Lunch came to an end, and that brought us to our afternoon classes, where again the game gave me that chance to either stay awake or go to sleep, and I of course stayed awake. I'm in school to learn. And we just talked about going over the results to the exam. Our teacher, Miss Toriyumi, talked about a lot, she wasn't disappointed, but in a sense she kind of was. She'd mentioned some of the things like, I don't know how you guys got this one wrong. We covered it so much. I mean, and there was that review as well. So it is nice to go over and talk about the things that did and didn't go well and just see. And we talked yesterday too about what that's like for a teacher, to think you've got someone so prepared for something and then have it not come together. But we stayed awake and we gained a little bit more academic progress as a result. So a lot of social skill progress during the day yesterday. And that came to the end of the school day eventually then. Got to kind of wander the halls and see everybody still, of course, talking about exams. Some celebrating, some lamenting. The full spectrum that you see on stuff like that. And thankfully I was on the positive side this time. Really could have gone either way though, especially with some of the questions I had to answer myself as the player. But we made it through it and we've got the results to prove it. So I decided to take care of a little after-school business, headed over to the Polonia Mall. I specifically wanted to head over to Officer Kurosawa. He has sales on Monday, and we had a little bit of money from Tartarus on Sunday. So I wanted to just see what we could afford and what we were most in need of. And I settled on buying a new weapon for Akihiko. He recently recovered from his injuries and was part of our team now. And he was definitely holding his own that first night there, but I did notice as he ran out of SP, his physical attacks were a little bit lesser than the rest of the party. And that really came down to the fact that he was just using a basic starter weapon. So getting him geared up to the same level as everyone else in terms of damage output, I think that's going to make us much more capable coming back into Tartarus whenever we're able. I also stopped by the Velvet Room to pick up a Persona because I decided to attend a student council meeting with the remainder of the afternoon. So we just stopped in the Velvet Room to acquire an Emperor Persona. Then we made our way back to school. And I headed into the student council room where Odagiri was talking with a teacher. I came in the middle of that conversation, so I didn't really jump right into anything and just kind of observed. But it seemed like the teacher was talking to Odagiri and saying that he was going to count on him to take care of something. There was also a student there, a secretary from the council, that really feels like whatever matter this was needed to be addressed by the entire student council. But Odagiri countered that this was a disciplinary measure, and as head of the disciplinary committee, this was his responsibility, and it didn't need to involve the entire student council. So he and the secretary kind of went back and forth on whose responsibility a matter like that actually is, and I was able to make a case for both sides of it. And I was content trying to stay out of that, but they pretty quickly turned to me and said, basically, Mitsuru added me to the student council without involving the council because the president thought that I would be a good addition to the team. So Odagiri said that his taking action as he sees fit is kind of the same idea. He's the disciplinary committee lead, so it's up to him to make decisions on matters for the disciplinary committee. And, I didn't think that was wrong. But he said he wanted to handle it and not to burden the rest of the council with it. He was going to do his own job and he was going to do it right. At that point, Chihiro and I were both kind of just standing along the side watching this all play out, and I had the chance to ask, what's going on? What is this matter that everyone's talking about? And Chihiro explained that teacher had come in and said that the teacher believes that there's a boy in school who's been smoking. And obviously that's a terrible thing, so that was a matter to be brought to the disciplinary committee because they want the person found and have the matter properly addressed. And so, that is what the plan was. Odagiri is 100% behind that. That is a clear violation of the school rules, which in his mind is 100% unacceptable. And as much as he said he was going to handle it, he did also say that he's going to count on my support as well. He sees me as a like-minded individual. And more than that, I think he also just kind of sees my role in the student council as that one that floats between the different groups and helps out where needed. So he's making good use of the members of the council that he sees the ability to use for the proper ends. And he's going to just count on me for whatever help I can give in this investigation. I still don't feel fully informed, but I do appreciate the fact that he trusts me with that. I won't say we got off on a bad note or anything. He's just a very direct, by-the-book person, which to some can kind of come across as a bit abrasive or direct. But, the fact that he does want to involve me in that, after saying that he doesn't want to really make this a whole student council issue, I will give my all to kind of be that mediator. I do want the rule of law enforced. So if someone is in violation of something, it is our responsibility to correct those things. But I don't know that I want to be as black and white about things, so I'm going to try to just offer that secondary voice where fitting. But either way, he trusted me with that, and that got us to draw a little bit closer, and that increased the rank of the Emperor social link to the next level, which was really encouraging. And I also talked about it with you guys after the fact, but after he and the secretary went on their way to continue going back and forth on whether or not the council needs to be informed of this, Chihiro said that she did want to go inform the president. She wanted to go talk to Mitsuru and just let her know what's going on, and so that's what she was going to do. It was a short, just couple lines there, but we'd been spending some time with Chihiro and getting to know her a bit more, and I said I really like the fact that, to me, this was such a side scene that still tied directly into Chihiro's character development. This was a step for her to go take, and to go tell Mitsuru what's going on. She sounded a little apprehensive and kind of nervous about doing this, but she didn't say, can you come with me? Are you sure I should do this? She said, I'm going to do this. And then she left. She didn't ask me to come at all. And that means she's confident enough to do it herself, and I trust her to do it. So I didn't tag along with her on that. I didn't even have the choice, but just to see her taking those steps, I'm sure this is another one of those progress points that she wants to go do. And once she does it, she's going to breathe that sigh of relief and see what's next on her list of things to try to work on. So I hope that went well for her. But with that, the entire council room seemed to have emptied out fairly quickly. It seemed to me there was no one else there, so I was able to decide the meeting was over and head back to the dorm. And when I got back to the dorm, it was a little bit different because Chairman Ikutsuki was waiting for me. We haven't seen him in a while. He seemed to be doing well. But he invited me up to the roof. There was something up there he wanted to show me. Now, obviously, I was curious, so we made our way up there. Last time I'd been on the roof, the building was under attack, so thankfully it was nothing anywhere near as dramatic as that. But we got up there, and there were a handful of planter boxes set up, loaded with soil. There was extra soil bags and tools around, and he had set up a little rooftop garden for the dorm. He even provided us some seeds and said that he thought that we could use something like that up here. And it was just one of those, he thought it would be good, but we're also not expected to do anything. He just wanted to give us that opportunity. If it was something we wanted to do, he was going to provide the means for it. He said, we didn't need to run it. We didn't have like a schedule of someone who needs to maintain it. This was just one of those totally fun out there things that he provided for us. It seems like he might have some interest in gardening, but he's too busy with all of his other responsibilities to do that sort of thing. And not that all of us at the dorm aren't busy as well, but the fact that he was thinking about us and stuff like that, and just another little side project that we can look at and another thing to spend our time on, I appreciated that. It was cool for him to take that effort. Nothing said he had to do anything like that. We haven't even been up on the roof other than that one time. The door's been locked. So to be given this out of the blue, that was just a really considerate thing for him to do, and I appreciated that. So I got those tomato seeds planted last night. Looks like they're going to take 10 days to grow. And so we'll just be keeping an eye on those as we go. Made our way back down to the lobby after that then. I stopped at my room first, take that bag off and put it away, but then we headed downstairs. Everyone was still talking about the exam results, of course. That was definitely the thought of the day. Junpei was not too happy about his. He basically sighed and said, yeah, that went about like I thought it would. Kind of felt bad. Oh man, I just want to be left alone. And I got that. I mean, he didn't really think he was going to do that well, even though he definitely did seem to be putting in the effort. Maybe not quite as diligently as some of us, but he did some study groups with us, and I'm sure he was paying attention in class and things, so it is always kind of a bummer when you feel like you've tried your best and it still doesn't quite meet the standards you're hoping for. And at that same time, I did kind of want to leave him alone. It didn't seem really all that fair for somebody who scored in the top 10 to, almost be pitying him then, because he didn't want that. I didn't want to do that to him. I acknowledged he was getting through it the best he could and left him to figure it out the best way he can. Yukari, on the other hand, seemed quite happy with her results. She said she actually scored higher than she expected to. And I also noticed this past week that she'd been putting in, the week leading up to it as well, she was putting in a lot of extra work. A couple nights we couldn't go to Tartarus because she was out studying with friends or getting new notes for class. So she was definitely taking her studies seriously. Akihiko mentioned that he did well by virtue of the fact that he was recovering and wasn't able to do his normal physical training routine, which gave him more time to study. Maybe not a happy accident, but a good byproduct of a bad situation for him. Maybe that'll stick with him going forward too, and he'll see the benefit of having that time or making that time to study. Other than that, Mitsuru wasn't actually at the dorm. She was out doing some other task last night, and as a result then that left us no chance during the dark hour to go to Tartarus, because we have a rule that if Mitsuru's not available to watch our backs and monitor the progress, then we can't go to Tartarus. So that decision was out for last night. And I'd kind of wanted to get back, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but there are so many other things we could do and need to do that I wasn't short of things to do. I still walked around and kind of talked about where we should go, and ended up doing something a little different. I stopped by the Net Cafe and picked up a virtual diet program. There were some social skills I want to work on, well, all of them really, but decided, which one to go next. There was two different pieces of software available. There was a virtual diet program or a typing ghoul program. One worked on charm, the other worked on courage. And I figured, between the two, I would lean more towards charm just because of the fact that there's a special menu at Wakatsu that only regulars can order, and you need to be more charming to be considered a regular. So I picked up that package, brought it back to the dorm, and that's how I spent the evening, just going through this virtual diet program. It was kind of one of those, it was a dubious feeling program where they showed us videos of food, and somehow that was supposed to make us less hungry or feel slimmer. It sounded dubious, but our character walked away from it feeling like he made some charm progress, so you can't argue with results. And I like the fact that it was shared software, so hopefully someone else in the dorm can use it too and just get whatever benefit from it they can. So after doing that for a while, we headed back up to our room, got in bed at a reasonable hour, and got to sleep to get ready for Tuesday. So that was the end of our accomplishments yesterday. Catches us all up for today, and we'll see where we can go with today on Tuesday. I'll get us over to the game, and we'll be right there. If you wanna go ahead, do whatever, okay, here we are. So this is where we left off at the end of yesterday after using that software on the shared computer. We made a little bit of progress in charm, not enough to take us up to a new level, but currently we are an unpolished, ordinary, and above average person. We got that little bit of academic progress after the week of exams, and that was really nice to make. But just to look at these and see how far we've come from how we started out, in what feels like a long time, but also technically is still rather short. It hasn't even been 2 months yet. We're making good strides as a student. But that was how yesterday ended. It had gotten late, so I headed back to my room. So that was Monday. That was how Monday ended. We're coming into Tuesday. So yeah, Monday the 25th is over, and here is Tuesday the 26th, just like our own calendar now.
Morning.
Even that voice line sounded like it was still that resigned. Even this, sup, dude? How'd you do on your exams? I'm sure he probably already knows. I'm sure he saw it. It's kind of that tough situation to be put in because I don't want to sound like I'm pitying him with my answer, and I don't want to say, oh, I did okay. But I also don't want to throw it out in his face and brag. It's like, oh man, it was great. I scored in the top 10. It was the best exam I've ever had, because I know he didn't do well, and I don't want to rub salt in that wound. Yeah, I'm satisfied with him. That's definitely the best choice. He'd be extra condescending to say not so great. Yeah, I wanted the best score in the class, but I ended up in the top 10. What a bummer. But I am actually satisfied with him. And that's neutral enough to not be too direct with him, even though it still might kind of irk him a bit. But yeah, I'm satisfied with him.
Wait, what?
What? You traitor! Dude, I'm a laughing stock. You know what I heard these two cute first-year girls saying? Did you see the exam results? Specifically Iori-senpai's? He sure talks big, unlike his brain. Do you understand what I'm going through? My heart is in shambles, and we're not even getting a new girl on the team. That's a good reference there. A couple nights ago, we found that there might be another person capable of using personas, a girl in a neighboring class of ours in the same year as us. But she misses a lot of school, and she's at the hospital quite a lot, so we're not quite sure she's going to be up to the task of fighting the shadows like we are. We're still doing some investigating. And he really wanted another girl on the team, but it doesn't sound like that's going to work out quite like he's hoping now. So yes, his heart is in shambles. No, wait. It's too early to give up hope. We still haven't heard back from her yet. Yeah. How can we get her to join us? I should figure out what to say to convince her. This is so Junpei. He gets hyper-focused on something, but then he's able to just shrug it off and move on to the next side of things. I mean, it still bothers him, so he's not just ignoring things, but he's kind of finding that bright side of, what's done is done, but what can I do going forward? It's that dedication to keep pushing for things. That is definitely one of Junpei's main strengths. So here we are after school already. As I've said on so many of these school days that don't show us a lot, there was still a lot that must have gone on. It was a full day of classes after all. We just didn't get to see them because there was nothing that specifically was called out to us. I'm sure morning classes, there was maybe that last bit of review off of the exams before we've been getting into new topics. Got to lunch and probably, maybe was able to get to Junpei and just see if he'd come up with any more of a plan to figure out what we can do for that new member. Afternoon classes, more of the same, and then here we are. What sort of messages? Yeah, our phone has been a lot more full recently since we've been making more social links. We've got Miyamoto from the track team. Practice! That's today. Let's go! We've got Chihiro. Hello. Good afternoon. It's Fushimi. Forgive me for asking for help so suddenly, but do you have time to meet me after school? I'll be at the usual spot in the hallway, but it's not a problem if you can't make it. Thank you. Kenji, I'm so bored. You got any plans after this? If you're free, let's hang. I'll be at my seat, as usual. A couple ads here. Actually, this is one we haven't had before. From Rafflesia, the flower place. We have buff potato sprouts in stock. Please come take some cute seedlings home with you. Color your heart and your lifestyle. Rafflesia Flower Shop. Oop. We could go there. We might make our way there on our walk. I won't go right away. And Hagakure ramen. It's good for your skin. We'll let you in on a secret. Our ramen is really good for your skin. The collagen in our dishes, or that our dishes contain, is sure to make you stunning. Our tender pork is a friend of beautiful skin. Make yourself shine by eating at Hagakure. So yeah, lots of choices to make. Let's see how everybody else spent their afternoon. All right, social links were by far the order of the day. Looks like some good choices there. And again, as we make more and more connections, it's that much harder to know which one to spend time with, because I want to spend time with all of them at some point. I don't really want to let it go too far between interactions with somebody, just from a good friend standpoint. We actually met Bebe at the bookstore the other day. He'd invited us down to the home economics room where he spends his time after school. We haven't actually been there yet, so that could be an interesting direction. Kenji had invited us out on Saturday, or on Sunday, and I kind of turned him down, so I feel a little guilty there. Wouldn't be bad to see him again. I skipped track practice yesterday and attended student council instead, so I could definitely make a case for going there with Miyamoto. And Chihiro specifically asked me for help with something, so it kind of seems a little unfortunate to not meet up with her as well. We've got a lot of different choices to make. Let's take a walk around, make our way over to, maybe pick up some of those potato seeds and just think about our choices again. See who we can talk to along the way. Let's also take a look. Oh, I've got 9,254 yen. Just kind of thinking if I want to pick up a persona, depending on who we end up spending time with. I have to kind of be frugal with that. This is the home economics room. It wouldn't be bad to stop in there and see what Bebe has going on in there. Oh, looks like this is Odagiri over here. What's he up to today?
Hey!
Ah, Shima-kun. I'm still in the middle of my investigation. Let me know if you find anything. Good luck with that, I will. I say as I leave the school. But we're casting a wider net this way, we'll say. Yeah, I don't see anybody out here that's got anything new to say. And what's showing at screenshot today? We've still never been, but there's that movie aficionado from a distance. I kind of like to see what's playing. Smile at the Eiffel Tower is now showing. High school students pay 1,500 yen. I could work on my charm. Nice to see different options for that. And here's the flower shop. We haven't actually bought anything here before because there didn't seem to be anything that we really needed, but now that we've got those garden beds on the roof, there might be something we could look at. Welcome to Rafflesia. What kind of flowers are you looking for today? The tomatoes we planted won't be grown until the 4th of June, I think it said. So while it'd be nice to pick up a potato sprout to have on hand for once the seeds are harvested, or the tomatoes are harvested, I don't necessarily see the need to pick it up today. I've got a few days beforehand. We can't plant more than one set of seeds at a time, so I'd rather hold on to the 700 yen for now and put that towards something else. But it's good to see that it's there. Oh yes, our seedlings have a reputation for growing very fast. We also stock special varieties that you won't find anywhere else. Why don't you try growing some? That's a fun point that the game brings out about how quickly these seeds grow. I kind of thought that yesterday when we planted those tomato seedlings and they already looked like they were near full grown. It's one of those things that from a game standpoint, it doesn't need to call out. It's not going to literally make you wait an entire season to harvest one harvest of tomatoes, but the fact that it's a 10-day turnaround seemed a little fast as well. So I do like that the game mentions it even without going into details of how and why it works. You've noticed I've stopped here. This is the weak cat. It says Mew. We say Mew back, and it's kind of an unofficial mascot of the stream. Mew. Nice to see everybody back here is doing well. Brown cat's still doing good over here. All is as it should be on the outskirts here. Let's stop up at the shrine and really plan where we should spend our time, because we're going to need to make that choice sooner or later. Let's go somewhere nice and quiet and think about it. Let's just look again. Yeah, I mean, I am tempted to go see what Bebe is doing in the home economics room. That would be one new person to potentially make a connection with. Let's also take a look at our social links and just see our overall progress. And it's hard to say stuff like, I don't want to spend time with Kenji, because I do, but he's one of those kind of guys that seems to be available a lot of days of the week, which is an easy trap to fall into then by saying, he's available all the time, so I can put him off till next time. That's not really fair to him, but when there are lesser available people like, potentially the treasurer here, Chihiro, or definitely the online game. That's only on Sundays right now, so that's kind of been a priority I've been going for. It wouldn't be bad to keep going a little bit more with, Chihiro, our Justice social link here. And like I said, I did turn down Kenji the other day, so I don't want to leave him too far behind everybody. Also look at what persona we have on hand. We've got a hermit, a hierophant, a priestess, a hangman, a strength, a lovers, and an emperor. Actually, not a lot of those are going to contribute to the social links we have that we were considering. Strength is Yuko. Emperor is Odagiri. We don't have lovers. Hangman was Maiko. She didn't seem to be available today. Don't have Priestess. Hierophant was the elderly couple. And the Hermit was Maya, the online game. So if I hang out with somebody we already know, I'd like to pick up a persona from the Velvet Room, which would cost us money. Not that I can't afford it, but that actually might make another good case for stopping by the Home Economics Room. I don't know what social link Bebe is, other than that we've been invited to see what he's doing. So that could be good, actually. We can still stop by the Polonia Mall on our way over there just to see the regular people, but that way I can hold on to what little money I've got for now and make, hopefully, as best a use of it as I can. Yeah, I think I like that idea. Stop in and say hi to Officer Kurosawa. He had a sale yesterday, so we got Akihiko a new weapon. I'm looking forward to, trying that out and seeing just that much more capable it makes us in Tartarus. But not a whole lot to actually say or do with Officer Kurosawa today, other than thanking him, as always, for his support and hope his day is going well.
You finished?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Be seeing you.
I always head down the alley next, so let's stop over to the pharmacist first. I'm going to do things in a slightly different order, even though it's still a routine. Not as crowded as the sale days, but still pretty busy in here, so I don't want to take up too much of his time either. No new medicine, but nice to have his support as well, in case we need something. He even started out by saying, if you ever need anything, come in no matter what time of day it is, because he's here to help. So I appreciate that.
Used to going to school? What's wrong? Oh, don't tell me. You got the May Blues.
And the May Blues. Thank you for the help on the exam. I did really well on that thanks to you, so I appreciate that as well.
Done already?
I am. You have a good Tuesday.
Thanks.
So yeah, we can still say hi to Igor and Elizabeth back here.
Marvelous.
And we must have made a bit more of a social connection, so she's got a little bit different to say to us. I can sense that the power growing within you stems from the bonds you have forged and nurtured. Here, it may not be much, but this is my gift to you. Please accept it. 2 more Twilight fragments. We used a couple in Tartarus the other day, so it's nice to get a few more to replace those. Never fun to get to a locked treasure chest or area that needs Twilight fragments and not have any on hand to use.
I'm looking forward to it.
I still cannot foresee the limits of your potential. I look forward to witnessing you grow even further. I want to check on the requests. We finished some the other day. There's nothing new to pick up, it looks like. Still the same ones on hand. Haven't been by Wild Duck in a while for this Big Eater challenge, but we've really been focusing on our social links for a while, so I'm okay.
I won't insist you do anything, but it'd be greatly appreciated.
Nothing we have right now that's available has a deadline. We've already completed the ones with deadlines, so we're not specifically focusing on time for these either. It looks like we're all caught up
Very
there.
well, then.
And I just realized we're in a new day and I haven't saved it yet, so let me get that done real quick. As a gamer, it's always nice to see a new save file successfully created. So let's stop into the Velvet Room and say hi to Igor as well. Yeah, I'm not going to be picking up a persona today, since I think we're going to head for that Home Economics Room after this.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
As usual, I just wanted to stop in and say hi, and thank you both for the support you give me. I'm glad you're on my side, and I hope you're having a great day. But I won't take up your time, so thank you, and I will see you when I see you.
We look forward to your next visit.
Not a long visit, just enough to see them, check in with them, see that they're doing okay. And give our day a bit more purpose as well, rather than just running from one task to the next. And I kind of talked with you guys the other day about that, and as time is going on, we had seen fewer and fewer of the lost, those with apathy syndrome, but recently I've kind of started to see a few more people scattered here around town that aren't looking quite as vibrant as others. It's a great little detail the game sneaks around that can be easy to overlook and isn't super necessary to notice, but when you do, it kind of just makes the town feel that much more ominous in spots almost. So keep an eye out for any of the lost you might see and just see how that changes as the days go forward. Here we are back at school, after getting our steps in and enjoying the nice May weather in the afternoon. But let's stop in the Home Economics Room and take Baby up on that invite he made to us back when we saw him at the bookstore a week or so ago. It's the Home Economics Room. There's a sign posted by the Fashion Club. Okay. I'd actually forgotten that I needed academics for that, but we are above average now, so with my academic level, I can easily translate it. It says, join the fashion club. Meetings are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I can check out the club, but it might take a while. Should I spend time here? Yeah, let's do it. Bebe was a transfer student from France.
Yes, this is my finest sewing work yet.
As a fellow transfer student, he saw us as kindred spirits and kind of wanted to get to know me. And he seemed like an interesting guy. He was the one that returned Bunkichi's wallet when he lost his wallet, so he seems like a good guy. So nice to stop here and see what he's up to. Yeah, the foreign exchange student I met at the bookstore is busy sewing. This is that tough call of, I don't want to interrupt him as he's working, but I don't want to just turn and walk away either. I don't want him to think that I've given up on whatever this is. And it's not a first impression because we have met him, but in a different sense, it almost kind of feels like it is because this is our first time in here in this setting. No, I'm going to try to be social here. If this is the wrong choice, I'd rather regret trying to reach out to him and be wrong than to send the wrong message by turning my back on him. I'm going to say hi.
Oh, bonjour.
Hello.
I haven't seen you since the bookstore.
It's been a while, yeah.
You came.
I did.
What a pleasant surprise. I am so happy to see you.
And I'm encouraged by that. He's not upset that we interrupted the focus he was in. Or if he is, he's hiding it nicely for our sake. I can't remember if he knew my name at the bookstore or not, but I remembered his name. Well, actually, I should clarify. I remember the name he introduced me as people call him. He says, people call me Bebe. He introduced himself in a much more grand, longer name, which, again, I can't quite recall. But he said, call me Bebe, and I do remember that, so. I don't want to be surprised with him knowing who I am, though, so I'll just, try to turn the focus on what he's doing, because he seems quite proud of it. So, what are you doing?
I am training in the art of sewing.
Ah.
I am in this fashion club in order to own my sewing craft.
Seems like the right place to do it.
Would you like to join me? It is Tanoshi. Very fun.
Tanoshi. Yeah. Could be fun.
If I may be so bold, would you sign up for my club?
Our character's the kind that seems willing to jump into a lot of things. And we've already seen so many instances of where we get involved in something and it turns out to be a lot more involved or fun or beneficial than we thought it would be. So it's kind of that keeping our mind open to things and trying it. Yeah, we are out the time for trying it, but we gain the experience of doing the things, so time is spent, not wasted. Yeah, let's do it.
Hondo? Really?
That surprise, the stand-up, almost the disbelief. It's like, what, really? I thought you'd say no. But yeah.
Katajikanai. Many thanks. I am thrilled to have a new member. I am here on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But it may be closed when we have exams.
Okay, so that's why we weren't able to come and stop by and see him this past week, because just like any other extracurricular activity, the Home Economics Club would be bound by that same exam logic.
I have not made any good Tomodachi friends, so it is very sabishi, very lonely. Maybe it is because I do not fit in.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer to feel that way, but an easy thing to feel, especially I can only imagine in a totally foreign place like this as a transfer student. And as a fellow transfer student, I do kind of want to be that person to reach out to him as well. Nobody should feel lonely, but he is doing something he likes as well. He's not just sinking deeper into his loneliness and kind of lashing out at why am I alone? He's here training in a craft I assume he likes. So I'm encouraged by that.
But now you are here.
Yeah.
The divine fates have brought us together.
That's right. We can keep each other motivated, and I can learn, what goes on in this club. I ended up joining the fashion club. Not how I expected the day to go, but I'm not upset with that decision. I'm happy with that. And I've gotten to know Bebe, the foreign exchange student.
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou hast established a new bond. Thou shalt have our blessing when thou choosest to create a persona of the Temperance Arcana.
And it has been a while since we've made a new social link. We kind of had an idea it was coming since we saw people spend time with a social link and it was Bebe, so it wasn't a total surprise, but now it's official. We have made a bond with the Temperance Arcana. That is rank 1 with the exchange student Bebe. Very awesome. So that will give us another person to spend time with, another person to make a connection to. And on the combat side of things, any Temperance persona we make now will gain some extra experience as well. So it benefits us across the board.
Oh, look at the time. Well then, au revoir.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. I was wondering, what is the best way to say bye to a friend? As in, what is the most culturally accepted?
A lot of interesting choices here. I'd like to keep it, nice and casual. Probably just a simple see you later. Interesting thought of a cool and chummy peace out. Or stately until we meet again. Or we could just, go full movie reference and I'll be back. No, I think we'll keep it simple for now. We'll just say, see you later. It's kind of interesting to look at the Japanese version of the game and see what, how the scene played out there, what type of dialogue choices they had. But for now, I'm going to say just a simple see you later.
I understand perfectly. See you later.
As he seems new to this area and this culture too, I don't want to give him odd information that might not work as well in other settings. If he were to say, peace out to a different friend later, that might kind of confuse them. And if he thinks that's the normal way friends say goodbye, see you later is going to probably benefit him a lot more in the long run. See you later, Bebe. I parted ways with Bebe and went back to the dorm.
I see you're back.
Oh, you're back. Hey, if you're up for it, let's go to Tartarus later. I need to get back into the swing of things. Besides, I can't leave all the fun to you guys. That could be good. Let's head up to the room first, put this bag away, and give some thought to our evening first.
If you wanna go ahead, free to do whatever. I'm chilling on my bed. I'm minding my biz, so mind your own biz.
I'm not opposed to the idea of getting back to Tartarus. I kind of want to get back there myself.
Hey, feeling the fire with
Again, I don't want to rule out those options until I've seen what they are. Like our messages here.
but we gon' chill today.
Mandragora, the karaoke place. Let all your stress out by singing at the top of your lungs. How about some karaoke tonight? We hope to see you. A word from the manager. We're seeing a lot of solo customers lately. If you've got what it takes to perform on your own, then come on down. And Chagall Cafe is looking for workers. That's been a beneficial place to work. We've spent quite a few evenings there already. That works on our charm, our courage, and that gets us some money. So that's been a nice time. Chagall is very busy, and we could use all the help we can get. Students may apply, no experience required. Those who work today will receive a bonus on top of the normal paycheck. We look forward to meeting you. Tempting. But the Call of Tartarus is also pretty tempting. I'm going to check what everybody else did, but first I want to just catch us up on our own stats. I think we ended up on floor 36 of Tartarus last time we were there. And our average level is 15. So I know we're still a little ways behind everybody, which is another reason kind of pushing me back towards the tower. Although, most people have already spent more time at the tower than we have. So, yeah, everyone's average level is still a good 4 levels above ours still, level 19 compared to our 15. Not exactly what I want to see. They've made it up to floor 41. We're closer than we had been. We had a lot more of a gap before, but I'd like to narrow that a bit more potentially. Most people did daily life activities instead. We kind of did that the other day when other people were Tartarus, so it's not like we're missing out or anything. We're just doing things in a slightly different order. And some tiny percent of people spent time with Tanaka. We may remember him, well, we may know him if we see him, I guess. We won't want to spoil anything. But I do think Tartarus sounds like it's got some potential. Let's also talk with everybody else at the dorm. I guess I want to know who's available and just see what everybody else's thoughts are. I don't want to make that unilateral decision if other people have other things they'd rather do. Yukari? It's too bad about that girl. Fukuyama Gishi, huh? It would have been nice if a girl the same year as me joined. Akihiko is, he's so regularly at it, keeping his gloves maintained. I like that side of him because it just shows how serious he takes this. It was especially nice during the time he was recovering, where he wasn't even using his gloves because he was recovering, but he would still take the time to properly clean and maintain them. Just shows the respect he has for his craft and for his tools and how important they are to him.
Yeah.
Kurosawa-san deals in a variety of weapons for us. But my weapons, I've always got them on me. I dive right into the fray and dish out the pain. These might not be as flashy as some of your weapons, but they're my pride and joy.
In that case,
Just tell me if you ever want to fight with your fists, too. I'll whip up a solid training regimen for you. Tempting. I do like his logic there of, I've always got these fists on me. They can't take those away from me. But my character seems adept enough at a sword, so probably not good to mess with a good thing. It's on TV as well while we're here. The economic results for April. The economy seemed to be on the rise again. Though a touch of inflation has led some consumers to complain. Yep, economic news tonight. Mitsuru, how you doing? Well, first, let's chat.
Hello.
Whenever I look at Tartarus, I'm always amazed at how many floors it seems to have. The tower reaches into the skies. It's going to be a long and arduous journey. One step, one floor at a time. I also wondered, what is everyone's status tonight? Junpei can't go tonight. That kind of changes things in my head. I mean, not that we can't go without Junpei, but there's a lot of reasons I'd rather not potentially go without him. I mean, obviously, if he's not there, he's not going to be gaining any experience. So, Akihiko, Yukari, and I, we could still level up, but he would still be at level 15. It would also just be that much less combat strength we have. He deals out great damage, he's got a lot of HP to tank some stuff, and he offers the fire element as elemental coverage. He brings a lot of good to our team that I would really miss not having. Kind of a bummer. But I also have said before that I like that side of things because everybody here has a real life and they've got plans, schedules of their own. And some nights that just doesn't work for them. Junpei's out doing whatever he's out doing. And that's his choice. He's his own man. He doesn't need to ask our permission to go anywhere. And technically, like I said, we could also go without him. So it's not like, man, Junpei wasn't here, so we can't go to Tartarus tonight. That's still a choice for me to make. But kind of like last night when Mitsuru wasn't around, I had it in my head, like, okay, it'd be a good night for Tartarus. We can, narrow that gap a bit, catch up a little bit, only to find out that, no, that doesn't actually quite work the way you wanted. That's life. But the other side of that, too, as I've said, we don't lack other things to do. It's not like Tartarus was our one and only thing. I'm not a maxed out student in every other capacity. I don't have... I have social links, I have those, but I have needs for my charm, my courage, my academics. Any one of those, is another valid use of my time. We did the shared computer yesterday. We could look at that again, potentially. Well, let's just take a walk rather than standing here staring at traffic. actually. Now that I see the Polonia Mall here, this gives me an idea. Yeah, you probably noticed that we've got somebody here who might look familiar. Maybe it's hard to get a good look from a distance here, but this is a man in a suit. That could be a way to go. Although I don't know how capable we are of, moving forward here. Well, let's stop a couple other places first, but maybe we'll talk with this man in the suit and see what can be done. We haven't stopped in Game Parade yet, have we? Various games are inside. We've got House of the Deceased, a game to work on courage, and Real Wheel Racer to work on our persona's agility. Haven't been to the arcade in a while. 3,000 yen is still kind of a lot to drop on a game session, but if you like doing that, that's a good thing to do. You can check out Club Escapade here and see what's what. Looks like nobody's got anything new to say. But just the fact that we're courageous enough to get in here, that was one of the first things we worked on for our social skills. It always kind of feels like that reward, that proof of hard work paying off every time I come in here. So I like that just a little social bonus. Up here, it's still full of couples, so I always feel like I'm kind of intruding by coming up there and hanging around too much. So nothing new to see in Club Escapade, but nice to see it's looking like it is. Yeah, this man in the suit might be a good person to talk to. And again, I haven't saved it in a little while here, so let's catch up again. Perhaps he looks more familiar now? Once he introduces himself, we'll know for sure. If only I could find someone who could steal our clients' hearts. There must be some handsome young man out there who could drive all the housewives wild. Well, am I that confident to just declare that it's me? Maybe. Yeah, why not? Let's be. No, I'm gonna try. Right here. Ouch. Where? I don't see anyone. For heaven's sake, quit wasting my precious time. That's right, I was gonna say, there was a man that was, Maya had mentioned the other day from TV that was the one who had talked to her at the mall. This must be the same guy. This must be the man Maya was talking about, the one she saw on TV. But he doesn't seem interested in me. So, okay, I need to get my charm up to smooth to be able to get his attention. Don't know necessarily why I would want his attention at this point, but I guess there's nothing we can do about that tonight, is there? Well, that's one more thing checked off the list of things we could do that apparently we can't quite do. It's another direction pointing me towards looking at working on charm, though. I was gonna say, we haven't really been to the Hagakure ramen place, and we did get an ad from them earlier in the day talking about how their ramen it's collagen rich, which is good for our skin, which would improve our charm. Kind of for the same logic of trying to get to a higher rank of charm to interact more with the regulars menu at Okatsu here. And again, it's just that game doing that great job of giving us that little push in a direction. At the very beginning, there was Club Escapade, where we weren't courageous enough to enter, so I spent some time working on our courage. Then we had exams coming up, and so that was obviously academics. So I studied, or ate at Wakatsu or things. And now we've got the man in the suit at the mall, but we need more charm. And the same, we've got the Wakatsu kitchen down there. We can't order the regular menu because we need more charm. So this just kind of feels like the game may be suggesting, if you're not sure what to do, maybe charm is the way to go. And I hear that loud and clear. Before we stop in, I guess we can head across the street to the station, too, and just make sure there's nothing new going on over there. But getting a good meal for the night does kind of sound tempting. We can't go to Tartarus either, so that's off the table. That looks pretty status quo over here as well. So yeah, let's do that. That sounds kind of fun. Also productive. A nice good ramen. We've already been out for an evening stroll as well. Summer's right around the corner, so I'm sure that the coolness of the season is giving way to the impending heat of the warmer months. So to get out in the dark like this, it's just that cooler bit of the year. Get out, get a good meal, head home, get some sleep. Let's try it. I guess let's catch everybody up to it. It's been a while since we've even checked what can be done here, so let's refresh everybody, myself included. We got pork ramen for 900 yen. The collagen will make your skin beautiful. Collagen-rich food might improve my charm. Yeah, let's do it. We haven't done this in a while. We need to work on some charm. We've got a lot of reasons we could do it. It's affordable. That's another nice thing. We'll get back to Tartarus when we do. Once it's a full team and we can really cover each other and make the most of it. I don't want to try to bite off more than I can chew and end up in trouble for it. One pork ramen, please. Frequent customers seem to have enough courage to order the special Hagakure bowl from the burly owner. Looks like it's part of a special menu, only available Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. All right. Here's another point to try to probably forget later, but need to be refreshed on, and that I can order that as well once I'm at least determined in my courage. I ordered shoyu ramen with pork. That looks pretty good. And like I've said at other restaurants too, it's like seeing him actually animated eating. It's that nice little detail that makes the world that much more vibrant. And places like this, looking at all the little background things, the stuff on the counter, the things on the walls. It's a place. Everything's there with purpose, but it's also the kind of thing you would expect to see in a place like that. But, tangent aside, I ordered shoyu ramen with pork. Thanks to the collagen in the food, I feel like the texture of my skin has improved. Alright, a couple more points of charm. Still unpolished. More steps forward. It was nice seeing academics at rank 3 the other day. We'll keep working on that until we can say the same for charm. And just to see these circles filling up that much more. It's really encouraging to see the growth we're making this short a time into the game already. So, again, not a new level, but good progress for the night. It looks like that is the end of Tuesday. So let's head back to the desk and talk a bit about it. Okay, so here we are again. That was the end of Tuesday the 26th, and it was another good day. It was definitely one of those days that was a little unscripted. Well, it's all unscripted and all kind of out there, but there was really nothing I ended up doing today that I came into today thinking I was going to do, which I've had plenty of real days like that as well, so that's another thing the game does well. It's kind of hard not to have an idea coming into the day of what you want to do, but there are so many days in-game and in real life where those plans don't always materialize. But that wasn't bad for today. It started out at school, as so many of our days do. We got to meet Junpei at the gates. I'm just thinking about that, and he asked us how our exams went. And there was that kind of having to break the news to him that he doesn't have an ally in the low-scoring group. If anything, I'm kind of the opposite, and that I scored in the top 10. Which you traitor, how dare you? I thought we were going to fail together. How dare you leave me stranded back here alone? That misery loves company idea, but I tried not to lean into it too much. I didn't want to be that braggadocious guy that says, oh yeah, I did really well, how about you? So I felt for him because I do think he put the effort in, and it didn't quite work out for him. Could he have done more? Sure, probably. Could I have done more? Yes, absolutely. So, before I throw stones, I gotta, look at myself first. But maybe this is going to be one of those motivating points come the next exams where he wants to be more motivated or I'm able to help him a bit better. That's another thing too. As my academics improve, maybe I'll be able to be a more capable friend and help him more on the academic side of things, kind of like Mitsuru helped us getting ready for exams. We'll see. But, that didn't do anything to help him feel better about himself this morning, and we got into the day of school. It seemed like a fairly standard day, since they didn't show us anything specifically, but we talked about the sorts of things that probably happened. And just like that, though, it was still after school, and I didn't exactly know where to go. We had a lot of people text us with options. I wanted to do them all, but that's not how time works. So I did a little bit of a walk, as I do, just to kind of talk it out and figure it out. The biggest decision point I had made was the fact that most any choice I had today would have benefited from me buying another persona out of the compendium to get the most out of our social interaction. Which I could have done, but with limited funds, you don't want to throw money around too willy-nilly. And there was that option to spend some time in the home economics room with Bebe. We'd met him a week and a half or so ago at Bookworm's bookstore, and he said next time you're free, come by the home economics room. And so I saw that was an option today, and that just seemed like the most fitting use of our time. We did promise we'd stop in and see him. He seemed excited about that and just said, whenever you get the chance. And we hadn't had a chance the last couple weeks because of exam preparation and then the exams themselves. So it was nice to head over there and not need to come prepared with any sort of persona because, as far as we know, we were just stopping in. We didn't, aside from seeing other people have the interaction denoted as a social link, we didn't really know what to expect. So I kind of kept myself in that same dark going into that. But we got there, and he was diligently sewing, very focused on what he was doing. But I still took that step to say hi to him. Even at that point, though, I was kind of unsure of, do I let him focus on his work and don't interrupt a man when he's working, or do I say hi to him? I didn't want to just look like I was going to walk away and make him think that I was leaving, so I took the gamble and said hi, and he seemed really excited to see me. He's a transfer student just like I am, so he even got to the point where he said, I've been feeling really lonely since I transferred here because no one joins the home economics club or the fashion club or what have you, and nobody really talks to me all that much. And I kind of felt bad for him there because I have been quite fortunate to have shown up at the dorm and pretty readily made a group of friends. So I've had a lot of other people around to support me, and I'm not coming in from a totally foreign culture either. He came all the way over from France. So that feeling of isolation and loneliness has got to be kind of tough. So when he said he gave us that option, hey, would you like to join the fashion club? It's not anything I'd consider doing necessarily, but there's been a lot of that in this playthrough already of things that I haven't thought about doing that have come to be beneficial to me. And keeping my options open, I thought, yeah, why not? I can spend some time with him, get to know him a bit more, and I'm sure there are a lot of things in the club like that would actually be beneficial to learn and to know and to be capable of. So it's that mutual win-win of getting to know somebody that I want to get to know, learning some skills that could benefit me in my life in unexpected and unforeseen places. And from the Tartarus side of things, this actually established a new social link, the Temperance Arcana. So on that side of things, that will contribute to our effectiveness in scaling Tartarus. So there were a lot of benefits from choosing to make that commitment, and I'm glad we chose to, because like I said, that did then unlock the Temperance social link and give us one more way to spend our time in the afternoons. It'll be nice to get to know Bebe a little bit more and see what there is to see with him, because he seems like a really positive and energetic guy, dedicated to training in his craft, and to have someone that's also an exchange student to kind of talk about and share some of those unique experiences with. I think it'll be fun for both of us. So I made that commitment, and it sounded like time got away from us as we were talking, and just like that, it was the end of the day. He was real quick to pack his stuff up, and I did the same, and we went our separate ways for the day. But yeah, that's just one more thing. I think he said Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. He sets up club there, so something to consider on those days. And that took us back to the dorm in the evening, where, coming into it, I was quite excited about getting back to Tartarus. We couldn't go yesterday because Mitsuru was out, and I'd bought that new weapon for Akihiko that I really wanted to make use of. And we're also behind everyone else's climb progress, so I wanted to narrow that gap a little bit. So I'm like, okay, sweet, tonight's the night. We've got a lot of time to do it. Let's get climbing. Only to then find that this time Junpei wasn't available. Didn't say where he was or what he was up to, but like I said at the time, he doesn't need to check in with us. He was out doing something else, so he wasn't available. Not our choice to judge or call, but he couldn't come with us. And that doesn't mean we couldn't go, but it seemed like it was going to be a lot harder if we did choose to go without him. Not only would he not gain any experience then, but we would just have that much less coverage on our side of the field. 3 on however many enemies there are versus 4 versus a party of enemies is a big difference. He's got a lot of HP, he dishes out a lot of damage, and he uses a fire element. So a lot of things that I don't want to be lacking when we go to the tower. So again, it would have been nice to go there tonight, but I want to just be as effective as we can as a party. I don't want to rush into something and make a bad choice just because I'm trying to go too fast. There will hopefully be other nights. I can't keep relying on that logic forever because eventually push comes to shove and you do have to do something, but taking a moment now to be fully prepared is a lot better than rushing into it and having something bad happen. So that kind of opened up our evening sort of unexpectedly for me. as I said at the time, too, it's not like I lack other things that need done or that I could do. We headed to the mall, and there was actually a man in a suit that Maya had referenced on our online game the other day. I tried to talk to him. He was looking for someone charming enough to captivate housewives, I think he said. I tried to be that confident guy and say, hey, how about me? And you could just kind of look at the disdain in his face, that sneer of like, who, you? Why would I care about somebody like you? You're not going to accomplish what I have in mind. No, you'll get out of here. He definitely didn't pull his punches in dismissing us outright. Which, yeah. Our charm could be better, I know. Could he have sugarcoated it a bit more? Probably. Did he need to? No, not really. So in no uncertain terms, we knew where we stood with him, and we lacked the charm to get his attention properly. But now that we do know that is information we can act on. And that actually helped dictate a bit more of my choice for the evening. I'd been working on charm the last couple days just because we wanted that menu at Wakatsu Kitchen. So charm seemed like a great order of the night. I knew there was no more software up at the Net Cafe because we bought that the other day. But I then also reasoned we hadn't been to the ramen place in a while. We went with Kenji a couple times, possibly Miyamoto, I can't remember on that one. But it had been a while since we'd been there, and I don't know if I actually went by myself in an evening. And so to get some different food and to just have something that we know the character enjoys, I headed off that way because that also it's college-enriched food, so it's supposed to help our appearance. And so I got a nice big shoyu beef ramen, looked really good. Enjoyed the nice atmosphere there and ate that, but it also did contribute a couple points to our charm. Not enough to take us up a level, but a couple steps forward again. So it was probably nice to just kind of take it easy again. We're still coming off of exam week. I'm able to celebrate now because I know my results were good. But it was still just such a busy week last week that maybe having another night tonight to unwind that little bit more was nice. Have a nice good meal, enjoy it, feel good about myself, head back to the dorm and just get a nice restful, recovering full night of sleep. But with that is how I spent my day. Again, I came into it with all these expectations of what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. Kind of less so in the afternoon because I assumed there were going to be a lot of social links to choose from. But I really thought that after Mitsuru was out last night, we'd be able to get to Tartarus together as a group tonight. So not being able to do that in the way I had hoped was a little rough in the moment, but it was that good learning experience and that reinforcement of the fact that people have lives outside of me. And I am the main character in the game, but everybody else is also a character in that game, and they have their own lives in that game. You don't always get to just dictate where everybody goes. That's life. So I got to experience that today and have to make some secondary plans. I think I made some good ones, though. I'm happy with them overall. I think they've been positive strides for what we're looking for long term. And yeah, I mean, like I say, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I still came away from it feeling like it was worthwhile. That takes us to the end of Tuesday the 26th. It was another positive, productive day, and I'm happy with how it came together. I want to thank you all so much for joining me as we went through it. My name is Tom Shima, and I play this Persona a Day series every day at 12:30 Eastern Time. So any day you want to come live, I would love to have you. I also upload each day's playthrough to YouTube, so if you miss a day or want to catch up on a previous day, I have a playlist available of every day there. But I just hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday, that your week is progressing positively. If any of your plans happen to change, I hope you can address them in the best way possible, and you still make it to the end of the day feeling like it was a good day. I have been Tom Shima. I'm glad you were able to be with me here today, and I hope to see you again. Thank you, and goodbye. With that, we've reached the end of the day. Please look forward to next time to see where the game goes from here. This journey is being streamed live on my Twitch channel if you'd like to be there in person for the experience. Links and schedule details can be found in the description. I'll keep uploading each day's session to this channel so you can keep watching here. Once again, I'm Tom Shima. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again as I continue the series, Persona a Day. What will tomorrow bring?